Have you ever looked at a handful of pebbles and driftwood and imagined something beautiful? Today, I'll show you how these humble pieces can be transformed into a flowing river centerpiece that brings warmth, calm, and quiet magic to any table. Welcome to Backyard Fortune, where we turn simple things into extraordinary spaces. This video includes timestamps, so feel free to jump to the parts that inspire you most. And if you have questions along the way, the comment section is always open for you. Maybe to you, I'm just another face on a screen. But behind this content, there's a real story and a real family. This isn't just a video. It's a piece of my heart. Every like, every comment, every subscribe, it truly matters. When you hit that subscribe button, you're not just helping a creator grow. You're helping a dream stay alive. You're giving a small family hope, one click at a time. Thank you for being here. Thank you for seeing me. One, driftwood welcome towers with pathway uplights. Close your eyes for a moment and imagine this. You're stepping into a garden where the boundary between nature and art quietly fades away. Two driftwood towers stand tall like gentle guardians at the entrance, each stone carefully stacked, each curve of wood shaped by time and wind. As the sun begins to fall, a soft golden light rises from their base, washing over the smooth stones and casting a warm glow that welcomes you home. The thyme and moss at your feet release a subtle scent, and for a moment, the world slows down. This isn't just a gate, it's an invitation to exhale. These towers are simple, almost humble in their ingredients: river stones, driftwood, light. And yet, when combined with care, they turn an ordinary path into something unforgettable. Building them is less about perfection and more about rhythm. Finding stones that balance gracefully, letting the wood's natural form speak for itself. Even the lighting doesn't need to be complicated. A few uplights angled softly are enough to make the structure come alive at dusk. Further down the path, a single, smaller tower stands like a quiet lantern, its wooden crown reaching toward the evening sky. It doesn't try to compete, it whispers. A piece like this is perfect for side pathways or corners where you want to create little pockets of wonder. The way the warm light plays against the stone textures feels timeless, as if it has always been part of the landscape. And then, at the end of the garden, larger driftwood structures rise, intricate, almost architectural. These layered stone towers with wooden spires at the top echo the same simplicity, but on a grander scale. They show how a single idea can grow, from a soft welcome at the gate, to a glowing marker along the path, and finally to a striking focal point that defines the space. What makes this idea so inspiring is its accessibility. Anyone can gather stones, driftwood, and a few warm lights. Anyone can build their own version, whether it's a delicate tower by a small garden path or a bold statement at the heart of a backyard. It doesn't demand perfection. It rewards patience, intuition, and a willingness to let nature guide your hands. This kind of garden art isn't about decorating. It's about creating places where you feel something the moment you arrive. A sense of calm. A quiet kind of magic. And the beautiful part? It's entirely within your reach. Two, spiral pebble stepping stones to secret nook. There's something quietly enchanting about a spiral path. It doesn't just lead you somewhere, it draws you in, like a soft whisper in the garden inviting you to slow down. The first thing you'll notice is how the stepping stones create a rhythm on the ground. Each circle feels deliberate, handcrafted with river pebbles pressed gently into cement, their smooth surfaces echoing the flow of water. Between them, thyme and moss weave their way like nature's own stitching, softening every edge. It's not just a pathway, it's a moment of calm disguised as a walkway. What makes a spiral so special in a garden is how naturally it creates a sense of mystery. Unlike a straight path, it doesn't reveal its destination all at once. You follow the curve, one gentle step at a time, until the world opens into a secret corner. A wooden bench rests beneath an arch of blooms, waiting patiently like an old friend. It's the kind of place where you can hear the faint hum of bees, feel the coolness of stone beneath your feet, and let your mind drift in slow circles. Building something like this is not about complexity but about intention. Pebbles can be collected, cleaned, and arranged into spirals inside shallow molds. Once set in place, a bit of thyme or moss planted between the stones brings it to life over time, giving that sense of age and belonging. It's this blend of the handmade and the living that gives the design its quiet soul. Look closer, and you'll see how the spiral interacts with its surroundings. The flowers nearby seem to lean in, framing it naturally without demanding attention. Lavender, wild daisies, and roses create soft walls of scent and color, and the spiral becomes a gentle stage where everything else plays its part. This kind of pathway isn't just for walking. It's for pausing, for watching light shift across the garden, for remembering to breathe. Even the simplest backyard can hold a secret nook like this. All it needs is patience, a few stones, and a touch of imagination. Over time, the moss will spread, the thyme will bloom, and the spiral will no longer look new. It will look like it has always been there, as if the earth itself once dreamed it into being. Three, climbing rose driftwood arch gate. Imagine walking through a garden where time seems to pause for a breath. The air is gentle, and the sunlight leans softly on petals that spill over a wooden arch like a quiet waterfall of color. The gate beneath is made of driftwood, simple, imperfect, but full of character, tied together with thick rope, like something crafted by hands that love the land. The roses climb as if they've always belonged here. Each bloom opens toward the light, weaving itself into a living canopy that whispers welcome. There's something about a rose-covered arch that transforms even the smallest garden path into a story. It's not just an entrance, it's a passage. A transition between the everyday world and something a little more magical. Pink petals, delicate and abundant, shape the air with their scent, while the pebbles below give a sense of grounding, a tactile reminder that beauty is strongest when it's rooted in something real. What makes this idea wonderful is how approachable it is to create. Driftwood can often be found along rivers or beaches, naturally weathered and full of unique twists and knots. Instead of straight, perfect beams, embrace the irregularity. It's what gives the arch its charm. A simple rope knot can hold everything in place without losing that organic look. For the climbing roses, patience is key. Train the stems gently over the frame, guiding them until the structure begins to blur under layers of leaves and blooms. In another light, white roses weave themselves into an arch like moonlight against wood. Their blooms catch the morning sun, scattering soft shadows across the gravel path. And further still, crimson and pink roses burst against a rustic fence, petals drifting through the air like tiny notes of music. Each variation tells a different story, but they all share the same heartbeat, the blending of nature's softness with something made by hand. This kind of design is not just about creating a garden feature. It's about creating a feeling. A gate like this invites you to walk slower, to notice more. It turns a simple pathway into a moment of grace. And the best part? You can build it yourself. One piece of driftwood, one rose vine at a time. Over the seasons, it grows with you, blooming a little more each year, until the line between what was built and what has grown is beautifully blurred. Four, floating air plant cradles from branch forks. There is something undeniably calming about seeing plants float gently in the air. They seem to defy gravity, hanging in delicate balance between wood and wind. These air plant cradles, shaped from the soft curves of forked driftwood, look as if they've grown here by themselves, yet each piece is intentionally placed, every string tied with quiet care. When the light of late afternoon filters through the leaves above, they cast gentle shadows that dance with the breeze, making the whole corner of the garden feel alive. What makes this design special isn't its complexity but its honesty. It's simple, minimal, and beautifully adaptable. Each cradle is nothing more than two pieces of driftwood, a bit of jute twine, some smooth river stones, and a single air plant. Yet, together, they create something that feels magical. Air plants are perfect for this kind of display. They don't need soil, only light, air, and the occasional mist of water. This makes them effortless to maintain while adding an ethereal charm to pergolas, balconies, or sunny windows. Hanging them at different heights introduces rhythm and movement to the space. It's like building your own living mobile, something that's always shifting ever so slightly with the wind. If you look closely, the twine knots are rustic, not perfect, and that's the point. Driftwood, with its natural twists and curves, gives each cradle a unique personality. No two are the same, just as no garden corner tells the same story twice. The real beauty of this idea lies in how accessible it is. Driftwood can be found washed up on a beach or gathered from old branches. Stones can be collected on a walk. Twine and air plants are simple to source. And in less than an afternoon, anyone can create a display like this, even in a small backyard or an apartment balcony. Over time, as the plants grow and change, they'll make the design feel even more alive, weaving themselves naturally into the space around them. This is the kind of DIY project that doesn't shout for attention. It whispers. It adds softness, movement, and a quiet sense of wonder to any garden. And perhaps the best part of all is how it reminds us that beauty doesn't always need to be loud or grand. Sometimes, it just needs to hang lightly in the air, catching the sun. Five, herb spiral stone garden beside the veggie patch. In the quiet heart of a garden, beauty often hides in its simplest forms. The spiral herb garden is one of those quiet beauties, a design that marries practicality with poetry. Stones, smooth and rounded by time, are stacked carefully to form a gentle spiral that rises upward. At the very top, rosemary reaches toward the sun, while lower down, basil, thyme, and parsley thrive in their own perfect microclimate. It's a structure that doesn't just grow herbs, it shapes the air around it, filling it with fragrance and texture. This design is clever in its quiet way. By spiraling upward, it naturally creates varying conditions for different plants. The top stays warm and dry, ideal for Mediterranean herbs like rosemary or thyme. The base remains cool and moist, perfect for basil and parsley. In one small footprint, you can cultivate a miniature ecosystem, a living sculpture that works as beautifully as it looks. The stones themselves play a part in the magic. They hold warmth during the day and release it slowly at night, keeping the plants comfortable as temperatures shift. The spaces between them can be softened with creeping time, letting the spiral blend seamlessly with the surrounding garden. Placed beside a thriving vegetable patch, this structure doesn't steal attention, it anchors it. The symmetry of rows of lettuce, carrots, and beans finds balance in the soft curves of the spiral. Building something like this isn't reserved for experienced gardeners. It's surprisingly approachable. Smooth river stones or reclaimed bricks can form the structure. Soil is layered as the spiral climbs, and planting follows the natural rhythm of the space. It's a project that can be completed in a day but will keep giving back season after season. What makes this idea special is how it turns a garden into more than just a place to grow food. It becomes a living composition. When the sun sets and the light drapes across the herbs, the spiral looks as if it's always been part of the land, a quiet monument to growth, patience, and balance. And perhaps that's its greatest secret. It's not just a garden feature. It's an invitation to slow down, breathe deeply, and let the scent of fresh herbs wrap softly around you. Six, stone-filled orb on driftwood tripod. There's a quiet kind of strength in stone. It doesn't shout for attention, but it holds the power to transform a space with its timeless beauty. In the middle of a soft garden bed, a single orb made from smooth river stones rests gently on a tripod of driftwood. The mesh that cradles the stones disappears into the light, making the structure look as if it's floating, weightless, despite its solid heart. The evening sun brushes against it, and suddenly the orb isn't just a garden element. It's a piece of sculpture. A pause in time. This design draws its magic from contrast. The polished stones catch the light, the weathered wood anchors it in the earth. Around it, creeping thyme and lavender spill across the ground, softening the edges. When the wind moves through, their fragrance rises up, wrapping the sculpture in a quiet atmosphere. It's as if nature and craft are in gentle conversation, and neither one is trying to outshine the other. What makes this idea deeply inspiring is how achievable it is. A simple wire mesh sphere, some gathered pebbles, and pieces of driftwood can become something that looks like a commissioned artwork. And yet, it doesn't demand a heavy hand. The irregularity of natural wood makes every tripod unique. The stones don't have to be perfect, just smooth enough to reflect the light. Once assembled, the sculpture needs no maintenance. It simply exists, a permanent anchor in an ever-changing garden. Placed among ferns and herbs, the orb blends effortlessly into greenery. Or it can stand proudly as a focal point, drawing the eye like a modern sundial. Grouping several orbs together, different sizes, different heights, creates a sculptural rhythm. They look especially enchanting in warm evening light, when the day softens and the world slows down. This isn't just decoration. It's a way of bringing stillness into a living space. A reminder that even in a world of constant growth and bloom, there's beauty in what simply is. A stone orb on driftwood is a gentle statement, one that whispers, rather than speaks, and stays long after the flowers have faded. Seven, driftwood wind chime with tuned pebbles. There's something magical about the sound of wind weaving through a garden. It's soft, almost invisible, yet it lingers, a melody carried on the breeze. Hanging beneath a weathered piece of driftwood, a series of smooth river pebbles sway gently, catching the air in perfect harmony. Each stone, drilled and suspended at varying lengths, is more than just a decoration. It's a note in nature's quiet song. When they touch, the sound isn't sharp or loud, but warm, earthy, and calming. It feels like a whisper rather than a ring. The beauty of this kind of wind chime lies in its simplicity. Driftwood and stone, two elements shaped entirely by nature, are brought together in a way that honors their imperfections. The driftwood's texture tells its own story of time and water, while the stones, polished by rivers or waves, add weight and rhythm. Together, they turn the invisible wind into something you can feel and hear. These chimes work best where the breeze is gentle. Hanging them beneath a pergola, near a fence, or between garden branches allows them to move just enough to create their soft percussive sound. When placed among herbs like lavender and thyme or near flowering bushes, their subtle movement blends seamlessly with rustling leaves and the scent of the garden. The result is a living symphony, one that shifts with every change in the air. What makes this idea even more inspiring is how easily it can be made by hand. A single piece of found driftwood, a few smooth stones, a drill, and some strong string or wire, and a garden can be transformed into a place where sound and silence coexist beautifully. The key is to balance the stones so they don't clash too hard, allowing them to dance lightly against one another. It's less about perfection and more about finding harmony. As the sun sets, the stones catch the golden light, casting long, moving shadows on the ground. In that quiet hour, the chime becomes more than an object. It becomes part of the garden's rhythm, a reminder that the simplest materials, touched by wind and light, can turn an ordinary corner into a small piece of poetry. (8) Twig fairy cottage with pebble chimney. There's something truly enchanting about discovering a tiny cottage tucked beneath a canopy of leaves. It feels like stumbling into a quiet world where time moves slower, where every corner carries a story. The little house is built from simple twigs, bits of driftwood, and pieces of bark, arranged with care to form walls, windows, and a pitched roof. A chimney of small stacked pebbles rises from the roof like a whimsical tower, as if it's waiting to release curls of fairy smoke at sunset. A winding pebble path leads up to the wooden door, as though it has welcomed many tiny travelers before. This kind of garden feature isn't just decoration, it's a gentle way of turning an ordinary patch of ground into a living fairy tale. By using natural materials like twigs, bark, and stones, it blends seamlessly with the plants around it. Moss and thyme at the base create the look of a soft, green carpet, while small flowers peek out like they've been growing there forever. As the golden light filters through the branches above, the whole scene glows softly, like a page from a storybook. Building something like this is less about precision and more about feeling. Twigs can be trimmed and tied with natural twine, bark can be layered for the roof, and smooth stones make the perfect chimney and path. The beauty lies in its imperfections. Every bend in the wood, every uneven stone, every knot in the twine adds character. It's a DIY project that invites your hands to slow down, to build patiently, piece by piece, until a little home emerges from the earth. Placed at the edge of a garden bed, beneath shrubs or beside a walkway, this tiny cottage becomes a focal point that draws the eye and softens the mood of the space. Surrounding it with lavender, thyme, or ferns creates an atmosphere of quiet and calm. And when the sun sets, the shadows stretch long, wrapping the cottage in a warm, golden hush. What's most inspiring is how simple materials, often overlooked or discarded, can become something magical. A fairy cottage like this is more than a craft. It's a doorway to imagination. It invites children to dream, gardeners to pause, and anyone passing by to believe, if only for a moment, that little stories live quietly in the corners of the garden. Nine, hidden pump driftwood rill over pebbles into mini pond. There's a kind of peace that only the sound of flowing water can bring. It's soft and steady, like a heartbeat hidden beneath the surface of a garden. Here, a hollow piece of driftwood becomes a quiet fountain, channeling water into a pool lined with smooth, rounded pebbles. Each droplet that falls sends ripples across the surface, catching the golden light as the sun leans lower in the sky. Around the pond, ferns and flowering plants lean gently toward the water as if listening to its song. The beauty of a hidden pump water feature lies in how seamlessly it blends into its surroundings. The mechanism disappears beneath the stones, leaving nothing but the illusion of a natural spring. With the right placement, the sound of the trickling water becomes a soft backdrop for everything else. The rustle of leaves, the hum of bees, the wind passing through thyme and lavender. This kind of DIY pond isn't about complexity. It's about creating a small, living pause in your space. A shallow basin, a few handfuls of pebbles, a small submersible pump, and a piece of driftwood are often all you need. By choosing stones with smooth edges, the water flows more quietly, like a whisper. Adding plants like moss, creeping thyme, or lavender around the edges makes the transition between the pond and garden feel effortless and organic. A flat stone at the edge can double as a perch, inviting birds to visit, or simply serving as a still point amid movement. At night, the soft glow of a lantern can turn this quiet corner into something almost magical, the kind of place where time slows down. What makes this feature special is how it turns everyday materials into a calming focal point. It doesn't just decorate a garden, it transforms it. With each ripple, with every drop, it reminds you to breathe a little slower and listen a little more closely to the language of water and light. Ten, Pebble River Tablescape with air plants. There's a certain kind of beauty that doesn't demand attention but quietly captures it. A long wooden table, simple and warm, becomes a living landscape with a soft river of pebbles flowing down its center. Each stone catches the light gently, their smooth curves reflecting the golden hour sun. Nestled between them, small air plants rest like tiny green islands, while pieces of driftwood win their way along the edges, echoing the natural shape of a riverbank. As evening falls, the flickering tea lights come to life, bathing the table in a soft, welcoming glow. This kind of tablescape isn't just decoration, it's atmosphere. It turns an ordinary dining area into a place where stories are told slowly, meals are savored, and quiet moments linger. The trick lies in using natural textures, the cool touch of stone, the soft weight of wood, the lightness of air plants. Together, they create something timeless, something that feels as if it's always belonged outdoors. The beauty of this idea is how easy it is to make your own. A handful of smooth pebbles can be arranged to mimic a flowing stream. Driftwood adds shape and structure, while air plants, needing no soil, just air and a little care, bring freshness without overwhelming the design. Tea lights in simple glass holders add a touch of intimacy, especially as dusk settles and the warm light dances on the stones. This is the kind of DIY project that invites your creativity to breathe. It doesn't need perfect symmetry or rigid rules, just your hands, a good eye, and the willingness to let nature guide the shape. Surrounded by a garden of herbs and flowers, the table becomes part of the landscape, rather than separate from it. As the sun dips lower, and the world softens into evening, the table doesn't just sit there, it glows. It whispers a quiet invitation to gather, to slow down, and to enjoy the beauty of simple things arranged with care. And perhaps that's the true magic, taking something as humble as pebbles and driftwood, and turning it into a shared moment that feels like a story. And that's how a simple river of pebbles can turn an ordinary table into a story worth telling. If this idea sparked something in you, I'd love to hear how you'd make it your own. So drop your thoughts and questions in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with someone who loves cozy DIY transformations. Your support keeps this dream alive, one creation at a time. See you in the next inspiration. Let's keep making the world a little more beautiful together.